Hello, welcome to the Zero Ends channel. Please like and subscribe. Please enjoy our live.
Means you can't rely on the media as it is today either.
Oh, of course not. All the media in this country, radio, television, and print, is all owned by 5 corporations. All of these corporations that own the media are owned and controlled, and members of the Council on Foreign Relations sit on their board of directors.
Can you name those 5 corporations? Is that...
Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
I could try, but I don't want to take a chance on being inaccurate. But you can trace that yourself.
Okay.
Remember, if you go down and you trace the ownership of a station or a newspaper, and you get to a corporation, remember, somebody owns that corporation, and it's usually another corporation. But when you trace the interlocking of all these things, when you get to the top, there's 5. And all journalists know that there's some things you don't write about and you don't talk about because you'll lose your job. And that's where the control is. And that's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $2 million a year. Because he doesn't question them. He knows that if he goes against them, he's going to lose $2 million a year. Do you think a man that looks pretty and sits in front of a TV camera for the 6 o'clock news is worth $2 million a year? No way. I don't care how long he works and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. People become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor, he sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. People become restive. And when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor, he sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. And he has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus. I know men who don't know anything in the world except who plays third base for the Mets. And they think that's a great accomplishment. And they meet and pat each other on the back and bond and go have cocktails and talk about what this guy that plays third base for the Mets did in last night's game. It's sad. It's really sad.
Is there any room in a kind of society where these manipulations are not taking place for this type?
Welcome again to another session here on the Zero Ends channel. I'm Zero Ends here. Welcome. And as you see the thumbnail and you see the clip, as you know, by a man that has been pretty much been taken out of this planet now, or been gone now for about to be 22 years in the fall. I think what's his name? Mr. Cooper, William Cooper. He was born 1943, and he mysteriously, or he actually was taken out in 2001. So around this time, he would be 80 years old around this year. But what he said, maybe over 20 some years ago, holds weight to today. If you're new to the Zero Ends channel, welcome to Zero Ends. As you know, you can follow me on TikTok and That's pretty much it. There's no other social media links to this. Well, I have in the docket and maybe collate out my scenario and analysis to a lot of things will be important, but something to really look and examine as a whole. Oh, as y'all watch or make sure you hit the like button and always comment during the end of this video for your thoughts and opinions, your honest opinions personally, because this is going to be very much unpopular. As y'all notice, and I want y'all to really follow me here to notice this. And Jaylen Brown is on the cover for a reason. And remember, the oldest professions here in America in regards to sports is baseball. And if I Google what is the average contract for baseball, it probably would astound you. Like how William Cooper said about a player from the baseball team, I think, was getting paid $6 million, or some low level position possibly. Far compares to what the baseball players are making now, including basketball and we could say football. But the more popular players or the popular sports that pay the most is obviously baseball and basketball. I could say football is second, but really football I would look at personally as third. And the reason why I say football is third, not second, is because there is no guaranteed contracts with football. Are y'all aware that there is no actual guaranteed contracts for football? Y'all know that? If you get injured or something happens, you could easily be dropped from football. It's one of them well-structured slave plantation sports known to man. Second to baseball and second to basketball and other sports, but obviously with football especially, it is definitely let's just say if you don't play, you don't get paid. And if you do get paid and you get hurt and dependent injury, you're out. So and the danger of football is not only the contract is somewhat or not really that guaranteed, nor they say it is, but when injury happens, they could easily drop you. But it could leave a damage to your health in the long term in a short period of time. I think the average career for a football player on the average is like maybe they'll last for like roughly close to 10 years, depending on the position. The quarterback position is a little bit more safer in football. No, you still get hit, but not to the extent of anybody that plays running back, lineman, those positions more severe, more dangerous. So, it's a circus, a serious circus, and majority of people participate in the circus, as y'all know. But let's look at this Jaylen Brown contract extension, and maybe I can get some context on what I mean by this $30 million slave, and even go as far as, if you think about it, and I mean think about it, you also could know is that certain teams, certain players are getting paid lucratively for less. They getting paid more, but we never really conceptualize where are they getting this money from. Because if the players are making a few couple millions, we know the owners by average are the ones that's making billions, and I mean billions of dollars. So let me look what's going on here. I guess we'll look at this contract extension. And like always, please hit the like button and share the stream. Let me pull up this first article. And this is from CBS NBA. And this is the 25th of July. And right now, Jaylen Brown stands as the top player right now who's making the most money or the biggest contract right now as it stands on the NBA. Second to him is Nikola Jokic, who's making $275 million for 5 years. So as you can see here, as I'm looking. And matter of fact, let me do this so I could be able to see myself better. Much better. Okay. Jaylen Brown's contract extension, Celtic star signs $304 million super max for richest deal in NBA history, per report. Brown becomes eligible for the extension by earning all NBA honors this season. Jaylen Brown has agreed to a 5-year, $304 million supermax extension with the Boston Celtics. According to the Shams Charania, or if they call it Charana, the deal is the richest in league history, will be fully guaranteed, including a trade kicker, but the final year will not include a player option. According to Sharian Brown, whose last contract was below both his max and his market value, became eligible for a supermax extension once he earned all NBA honors this season. And to let y'all know before I continue, the rules now with the new trade bargain agreement with the NBA now that went official and now will go in effect coming season is now that if you are an NBA player, if you do not play on the average 65 games a season, you will not be eligible to be all what they call all NBA honors, including you might not be able to be placed in the All-Star ballot. Now, one thing you do not understand, I want people to hear me and know this: the more rewards you get as a player becoming into a star player of your own team, the more chances that you can demand more of not only an extension but a bigger payday. Now, as y'all know, what's his name? Bradley Beal, that got his first max of $250 million for the next couple of years. He got that because not only he made all NBA, but also he was the leading scorer with making the All-Star team as well that year, back in 2021, I believe. Yeah, 2021 or 2022, one of them years. Yeah. So the more rewards you get, the bigger your contract is in the NBA, including all other sports, but especially NBA. It's evident you're going to get a bigger contract. There's no doubt. Let's continue. However, it took time for the two sides to agree to a specific of a deal. Brown was eligible for this contract on July 1st, but it seems as though the two sides spent most of July negotiating the bells and whistles on the deal. In the end, both sides managed to get meaningful concessions. Brown got a full guarantee deal with a trade kicker should he ever be moved. Boston got an extra year of team control by denying him a player option in the final year of the deal. The deal at the moment is the most expensive contract in the NBA history based on the assumed 10% growth in the salary cap. The maximum allowable within the CBA. It will pay Brown a total of $303 and $734,891. So it's like $300 million and $734,891. With the average of 60, looks like to be 60 million a year per year. Here's how the salary are expected to break down per year without including a possible trade kicker. So going on is contract officially starts now, and it's going to take effect starting from 2024 season down to 2028. As you can tell the numbers, he'll make 52 million in 2024. Then he'll make in 2025 56 million. 2026 he'll make 60 million. And 2027 he'll make 64 million. And at 2028 he'll make 69 million. So that's going to average, if you count all the numbers, 300 million. And if we could really know if that's accurate, let's look at a calculator. Let's look at a calculator for this. Where's my calculator? I'm just going to put just a few numbers here. Let's see if this really adds up to 304 million in 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 years. Let's check. Let me see if you guys can see my. I can't see my calculator, so I will pull it. I'll just stop sharing for a brief second and pull up the calculator. Let me see. Let me do that now, guys. Let me stop sharing this. All right. I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing this. Okay. All right. Let me try again. Presents. Share screen. All right. Let me look at the amount again. We're going to start 52, 56. 52, 56. All right. $52 plus 56 plus, and we're going to keep going. We're not going to put the full number. We're just going to put just the short side numbers so make it easier. 60, 64. 60 plus 64 plus 69 equals, yeah, and the extra 4 million will be, for other added expenditures and incentives. So roughly, you're looking at roughly the estimate. That's how much he'll make in 5 years. 300 million or 304 million. So the math does add up. Definitely adds up. All right, so let me go back to the share screen for y'all. All right, so you see the numbers. You see the estimate numbers. Brown may have the most expensive contract in NBA history for now, but that status never lasts long. With a new TV deal looming and revenue at an all-time high, the cap is expected to jump an extra 10% annually for the foreseeable future. Max contract and tied to the gap with the highest starting salary possibility for most players, being 35% of the cap. Bring teammates Jason Tatum will be eligible for a similar contract next offseason that will eclipse this one. So if he's gonna make 300 million this year, imagine the Boston Celtics go all the way and Jason Tatum makes all team, and they potentially, now I say potentially, win the NBA championship. Jason Tatum will he probably will make roughly, if Jason Tatum is going to make 304 million. Jason Tatum is going to probably make double that. He's going to probably make 300 and I would say roughly 15 million. No greater. He'll probably make that. And I won't be surprised if they give him an extra 320 million as a total for the next 4 to 5 years. But overall, these players that is performing at a high rate and making those numbers, they're getting big contracts. Big contracts. With Kristaps Porzingis on the books for roughly 30 million per year, and Derek White and Robert Williams III also combined to make around that much, Boston will have one of the NBA's most expensive roster for several years to come, with the NBA new second apron rule in place that will severely limit Boston's flexibility in building a roster around an existing core, which makes sense. But the Celtics have already reached the NBA Finals with Brown and Tatum, and nearly did so again last season. The Porzingis addition adds a new dimension to their offense, and both White and Williams still have room to grow and relatively young players. But based on recent results, it would be hard to argue that it isn't worth it. Tatum and Brown have turned the Celtics into a consistent title contender. Now that Brown has extended, there should be remain there for a few years or for years to come. Let's hopefully assume that. But I doubt it. I doubt that. Now, what should I say or do? What else could be found about this? Now, I could go to the AI system and know what is the average player, what was the most money a player can make on a sports team. Let's look at the AI itself, ChatGPT. I doubt ChatGPT will give me something, but let me see what it'll pull up just by the quick search or the quick wand of a quick search engine. Hold on, let me see. All right, let me refresh. Okay, we're going to type up which sports pays the most for a player. Now let's see what pulls up. Now this is from 2001 because I didn't really get the 4.0 version, but it's an old roster. And I'm going to compare the AI's suggestion to today. But as it's turned out, and from what it's saying here, from what is showing here, guys, which is a little bit surprising. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see this. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. It says here, from as the knowledge update from September 2021, the sports that typically pays the most to its players is professional basketball, specifically the National Basketball Association, NBA, and the United States of NBA players are among the highest paid athletes globally. With the top players earning multi-million-dollar salaries and lucrative endorsement deals. Other sports that can also offer substantial earnings to their player, including soccer, which is football. Well, it's actually soccer. Professional soccer players, especially those who play in major European leagues like the English Premier Leagues, La Liga series, and what they call Bangladesh, or Bedes like logo, if I pronounce it, earn typically salaries and endorsement deals. American football, NFL, is what they call roughly number 2, which I said is number 3. Golf is another profession, highest player PGA Tour, same for endorsements. 4th is tennis, surprisingly, and this is just the ChatGPT suggestions. Now, as I check the next thing, 1 second, guys, as I look at the next one. And make sure you guys hit the like button. All right. Now we're gonna Google it and see what Google says in regards to highest or which sport pays the most. I still say it's baseball, but they're not really being transparent. All right. Well, it looks like it still says it's basketball. And it says basketball is the highest paid sports in the world. When the average annual NBA salary of 2023 is near 10.5 million, the league has over 30 teams and pays the highest player salary of 48 million. Each NBA team plays 82 games during a regular season, which players earn an average of a whopping 91,463 during each game. Okay. All right. That's how it works. What is the highest paid sport in the world? Let's check another statistics. Oh, wow. They want me to sign up to read this crap. Oh, hell no. Screw that. I'm not doing that dumb shit. What's the most money make in sports in the world? Yeah, it's basketball. Well, you know, basketball is the highest paid sports right now. That is shocking. That is surprising to me. And why sports make the most money? And I'm looking what's going on. All right, so let's look at this. What sports most likely? I'm going to look through top to bottom to find which one it is. Yeah, basketball's highest. All right, we'll look at this article here. Let's look at this. All right. I'm going to share this. Actually, you know, I'm still going to really be more transparent on this personally. Share screen. All right, let's look at this, guys. What sport makes the most money? And we're going to go do that now in the list. We talked before about which sport which athlete makes the most money. But what about the sports that play or pay athletes the most on average? In 2023, the top 10 sports leagues in the world combined for a total revenue of roughly 512.14 billion. That's a lot of cash lining the pockets of executives and athletes all across the world. So suit up, lace up your gloves, grab a 9-iron, play ball, start your engines, and let's take a look at what sports make the most money and how much the top paid athletes in each sport can take home in a year. The best paid sports jobs by average salary. Soccer looks like the lowest, going up to football, going up to hockey, to baseball, to roughly basketball. The top 10 sports to pay the most. This post is ranked the top sports for average athlete salaries. As a bonus, I also spotlight the highest paid athletes in the sport for 2020, including how much they earn from endorsements, which turns out as usual as absolute insane amounts. A lot of amounts. So if you're thinking about quitting your current 9-to-5 completely, dedicate yourself to the pursuit of a new sport and then practice until you are good enough. And it is that you can go professional. Here are some very important numbers to consider. Number 10, boxing, 37,000. And look like it's the average per fight. And boxing is the oldest sports in which men continue to compete. In fact, the earliest evidence of the Perligus post time dates back at 3000 BC in Egyptian. Okay, we're not going further than that. Y'all can read that article. The highest paid boxer made 57 million in 2020. In 2020, the highest paid boxer was Tyson Fury, earned more than 57 million. That almost is 1,520 times more than the average boxer makes, thanks in part to an income from fights on ESPN generated by the promotional contracts with the promoters top rank. Ninth, MMA fighting, 68,500, which is getting a lot of popularity. Mixed martial arts fighting. In mixed martial arts, MMA athletes can make almost twice as much money as a boxer, with an average annual salary of 68,500. Many MMA fighters must also rely on sportsmanship, big fights, if they want to make injury-prone sport more lucrative. Experience matters for MMA fighters. The number of previous fights, the frequency of their fights, and of course their overall popularity, all factors in how rewarding the ruckus in the cage can be for fighters. Going down, the highest paid MMA fighter made 48 million in 2020. Now this is look like I'm not sure I'll update this article. This look like this is like a 3-year-old article, but we're gonna go by it anyway and keep going. Next, NASCAR driving, $1 million. This is number 8 on the list. For the shot at a Grand Prix prize, NASCAR drivers has speed well over 200 miles per hour for a total of 200 laps around the track. Since 2016, however, the amount written on the Jimbo check has become one of the sport's world's most secretive number, as NASCAR has ceased publishing the specific amount. Do tell, sir. We're not going further. Y'all can read that yourselves. And the highest paid NASCAR driver made 18 million in 2020. 7 on the list, $2 million. Golfers. And as you know, Tiger Woods made a lot of his wealth through golfing. A lot of wealth. And golf is one of the most peaceful scenery sports in the world, with athletes competing, sprawling across a lucrative greenery, pristine pound of thousands of eager fans waiting each swing and putt. 2 million per year. And the highest paid golfer made 62 million in 2020. As you know, most famous athletes like Tiger Woods is on that list. Number 6, hockey players, 3 million. And as you know, average is 3 million here, there. And the highest paid hockey player made 16 million in 2020. Okay. Number 5, football, 3.3 million. Which I think football should be more, but y'all know his with football. I mean, football is a given sport. It comes and goes. And it's very dangerous, to let people know. That's why when a lot of scientists, one particular Nigerian scientist that was a movie was dedicated to him, did studies on the brain of football players, and he was astonished that these players get concussion every year, getting hit. Out of basketball, a second most aggressive, dangerous sport any man or young man could play is football, in my opinion. Let's keep going. The highest paid football player made 60.5 million in 2020. Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes claimed the top spot for the highest paid football player in 2020, eclipsing the 45 million mark. Number 4, soccer players, 3.9 million. And you know, soccer is an old profession, as you know. The average salary of a soccer player depends on a lot of what leagues they play in. There are dozens of them all across the globe. Nonetheless, if you're a professional soccer player, you're usually doing quite well for yourself. And one thing, there was one particular soccer player that was offered by the Saudis or people from Arabia or you know the Arabs or the people from the Middle East was going to offer one particular player that played for Europe to play for their team, and they were going to offer him roughly for 1 year to play for them. So yeah, that says so. But the highest salary are in England Premier League, where players make 3.1 million a year on average. The highest paid soccer player made 105 million in 2020. Number 3, Formula One racing, 4.1 million. Those little cars, The Formula One racers earn 4.1 million for their superhuman ability and their trust their employees put in them. The highest paid Formula One driver made 47 million in 2020. Second is baseball, 4.3 million. Athletes earn an average of 4.3 million per year. A big contributor to this is because unlike the NFL, NBA, and NHL, Major League Baseball is not bound by a salary cap, meaning teams have no limit imposed on the total amount they can spend on a player's salary. Woo! So when you hear salaries, like I heard recently on the radio station, one particular player that was, I think, traded to a specific team from the West, I think, or he was looking to be signed, or look for off-season signing. That I think this one player was offered a couple years with a contract of a signing of a whopping $600 million in a couple years. So baseball, they don't have no caps. They pay you whatever you're worth or what you earn, and they could pay you a lot of money. And it makes me wonder, out of all sports besides football and basketball, why more black men don't teach their sons how to throw a ball, catch a ball. And one thing I heard one person say that it's boring. Standing wait for the action is boring. But you forgot, so you stand and wait, and you're getting paid roughly almost, depending on what player you are, you can get paid $500,000 throwing the ball or hitting the ball. So don't sleep on baseball. 7 of the top 10 earners are starting pitchers who all make at least 31 million per year. The highest paid baseball player made 37.7 million in 2020. And the first on the list, and the reason why it shocked me that basketball was the number one sport, because when I look at baseball, because baseball is an older sport than basketball, I did not really put into the fact that basketball is more of a popular sport, a more funner sport. And because they do deals outside America and try and train other nations to be potential star players for the NBA, it makes sense now why basketball would be top of the list. Roughly 7 million. So when we hear contracts of baseball, yeah, there are some players that can make as more or much more money because it's on cap. But really, truly, the money where it's at right now as it stands is in basketball. With only 30 teams in the league and an unrivaled system in place to make money through television sponsorship, merchandise, and of course, ticket sales, the NBA is the king of money making in the sports world. Each team has an average valuation of over $2 billion, and the league itself generates about $8.76 billion in revenue each year. In 2019 to 2020 season, the Portland Trail Blazers led the league in salary with an average of $10 million per player, while the New York Knicks averaged just $7 million per player. Despite this, the Knicks, worth $4.5 billion, have been NBA's most valuable team for 5 straight years. In fact, amongst North American sports franchise, only the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL are worth more. And the highest paid basketball player made $88.2 million in 2020, which is LeBron James, the king of the hill when it comes to the NBA income for now. Most of this actually from James' endorsement deals, which more than double his salary. He earned 60 million in endorsements and only 28.2 million in his salary and performance bonus. And yet he still has a long way to go to catch Kevin Garnett's, who more than 334 million during his career makes him the highest paid player in NBA history. Oh wow, I didn't know Kevin Garnett made more money than that. Okay. Well, actually, this is back in 2020, and obviously, no, he's making, and he's roughly a billionaire now since last year. So that's it. That is it. Now, roughly, what this all means. As you know, what it all means is that you are a commodity. You are a slave. And I remember when Kyrie Irving during the lockdown did emphasize players that is part of the NBA that is roughly more than 60 or 7%, the majority of the NBA franchise. He did proclaim and lay out that the players should start their own league since they've been treated unfairly and being abused by these not only corporations but also these managers that don't treat them well from his word. I stand by Kyrie Irving in that statement. But the problem is him making that statement and why a lot of these players are not down with that is because slavery is easy. I'll repeat that again. Slavery is easy. No player, if you're a black player today, is thinking of starting anything of your own. Regardless, you do have the means to do so. And not by yourself, but if you network with other players, you could have some. And another thing to add on. This is more than pocket watching. This is some of an overall evaluation. What William Cooper said in that video, if you go back to the beginning part of the stream, that this is a circus. He always questioned why would one person on anything get paid millions of dollars to either tell pretty much lies on the air or even go as far as throw or shoot or play a ball on a field or on a court. And the answer is because you're the players today are part of the circus, which the circus is the greater distraction from the masses. As you know, Americans and outside America, the finance and the shift of how people getting paid that's not athlete has actually declined. Well, they pay the most for athletes and entertainers the most because they're there to show you as the people that they pay them the big bucks to keep you in a grip of delusions and distractions. You know you're hurting financially. I don't care what economic finance you are as an American. You're getting hurt. And while your income, depending on what you do, might look good, you're not doing really well in America. And usually on the average, right now as it stands, to do well as a person, man, woman, not as a group or a married couple, but really as a person, to really do real well in America or to do where you're really in a good financial spot, you have to make roughly $250,000. Not six figures. You gotta make roughly peaking over 7 figures, 7 to 8 figures. And normal Americans on average are not even peaking off the comfort income. And I say comfort because that's just a number I'm giving you here. But we all know it's going to be more than that because of the inflation period now. That they're willing to pay, mostly corporations on average, are going to pay people more money to keep you distracted of what really is going on. Give them tea and bread and circus, and people will be distracted of what really is going on. Your finance, your money, depending if you got over a high school diploma or even a college degree now, is not really increasing. Actually, it's stagnant, and maybe if you're not lucky, maybe decreasing. Because you hear a lot of these corporations cutting back with the cutting off of jobs and all that thing that's going around the world, and they'll tell you get more skill to be more financial. But if you know you're cutting back, you are in the process of eliminating jobs to make people have to fend and starve themselves. Now, UBI will be the end result of all this, but you got to look beyond what they're going to give you as a cap of money that you're going to get a year, just to so-called be above water. Which really, if they give you any cap, which I can't tell what the cap is, how much money they'll give you just to sustain yourself for a year, you got to keep in mind that that cap is no joke in regards to how the value of the dollar doesn't have no strength. What I read with Jaylen Brown, which he's in a sport that pays the most than all other professional sports, these players get paid a lot of money. And a lot of people will look at it as something good or new. They say, ooh, this is nice. But for God's sake, you're actually being distracted of a bigger picture. Entertainers and athletes are put here to sway you of what really is going on in your actual lives that really will hurt you in the long run in regards to the economy of the West. And I'm sorry to tell you that for those that think that this was the stream that's personally, kicking or knocking what this man has gotten, I'm looking at things as a bigger picture. Because one thing that hit me was this: the money in America is getting dried up. Things are costing more money. But the people that's getting paid more money, they're doing not anything that's really that better society. Throwing football, hitting a baseball, and even as far as dunking a basketball does not better society. Now it's hard for me to say that and tell y'all this, but I'm just keeping real honest with y'all. That's not better in society. I want y'all to think on that. And once y'all think about, please like the stream, share the stream, because this is an important conversation. One moment. And as y'all think about that, one thing is clear, that the thing with the how much money people are making is not really facilitating the offshoot of inflation. 1 second. Yeah. So, as I'm looking now, mind you, I have not brought in no experts that's in the field of finance. And if I lay out my scenario, they will tell me the same thing and may add more onto this discussion. Because this is something that really we should really look at, really critically think about this and think, what is really the next step now that they're going to pay these people a whole lot of money while our income does not equate to the inflation rate here in the West. So what people could do. Now, I don't have the answers, which I shouldn't have the answers for y'all, because I'm only giving out the latest information and my understanding of things, my conclusion of things, personally, Hey, what's good? You there, bro?
What's going on, bro?
That's good. It's good. It's good. I'm on the air chopping it with the people. Hey, question. You familiar with basketball, right? you know about the contracts of certain players, right?
Yeah, what's up?
You know, I've noticed, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with an author that wrote a book called I forgot what it was called. It's by William Cooper, and there was a scenario when I was looking at the biggest contract that Jalen Brown was getting. The Boston he's
Yeah,
getting paid 300 million for 5 years, and
right.
the thing that comes to my mind that you know these athletes, entertainers, especially athletes, are getting paid. Their salaries increase double, where someone can get paid close to $250 million, right? But we look at the average American citizen, right? That
Right.
the income has never increased. It's actually been flatlined for over 50 years. You know how let's say like people like
Based on inflation right now, like I mean, the minimum wage in certain areas going up. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, it looked like it went up, but with inflation, it almost evens out, especially with the price of home prices and food prices and gas prices. Even though you're making more money per hour, you're still spending more money because the inflation is so fucking ridiculous.
yes, yeah, yeah. I agree. And think about it.
You say he got how many years is that contract?
Well, I broke down the numbers from what it said, and let me read the numbers one more time because I can't say off my head. Let me find it. Is this the one?
Okay.
Let me find his. Oh, here's. It says here, as I'm scrolling up, for those that just repeat, it starts in 2024 season and it will probably end at 2028. And I think the 2028 season might be the optional year because it's 5 years, and 1 year it might be the option of that like last year. Right now,
He got guaranteed money, so what he
yes, he does. Yeah, it's actually earning guaranteed money. That's what he'll make in 5 years. So let's break down how much he'll get each year. First year, in 2024, he'll be making 52,368,000. Next year, he'll make 56,500 something. The third year, he'll make 60,746. Fourth year, he makes 64,936. And if he chooses to take the option for one more year or opt out, he'll make 69 million in his last year of his 5 year deal, which roughly is supposed to estimate $304 million.
You said 69 million for the last year.
If he takes the option, yes.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So that's the rundown of his contract. He right now he's the highest player right now in the league in regards to the contract.
Yeah, I saw his contract, man. It looked good. You know what I'm saying? As long as he stay healthy. I mean, the brother stay healthy and he don't get those Zion Williamson type of problems.
No, I doubt that.
Hopefully he don't. I hope he don't.
Yeah. But the reason why I'm really focused on this because I want people to follow me. That these players are just a slave like any other corporation that giving people a lot of money to either do two things: to keep promoting their propaganda, or to keep people, especially the public, American public, and we could say outside America because there's sports outside here, distracted of what really is going on. You get me?
Of course. I mean, why do you think they're exporting the WNBA? Why do you think they're exporting the NBA? I mean, it's been going on for years. I got a couple of good buddies of mine that play ball with me that went overseas. My cousin also went overseas to play for West Virginia. Mm-hmm. He went overseas, and he's in Africa right now, though. But you got the European League, the African League, the Chinese League, the Eastern European bloc leagues,
mm-hmm.
Russia, you know what I'm saying? And, you got a lot of those type of, let's just say, subsidiaries that will pay you good money. Let's just say, even if you are, let's just say, the NBA, you can't get your star job like you want to, but you still want some money. Some of them people are paid for an ex-NBA star to come over there to their team. And China specifically, Russia will, but China, and you might make a little of that deal. South America, I've got people. A friend of mine, he plays for the Mexico teams, South American teams. it's money to be made. But when you're talking about $300 billion,
Yeah.
4 years of playing,
Yeah.
or maybe 5, like you said, with the option or whatever, with the last year being at 69, if he upholds the option,
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, it's an easy way to become a slave to that situation too, because
Mm-hmm.
Your CPA and your manager and people around you, they're not going to tell you, "Hey, man, buy a cheaper house."
Oh, really?
They're going to tell you, they ain't going to tell you shit. Really, they're going to just ask for money. But they go, "Here, you want to buy a $10 million mansion with $150,000 a year in taxes, even after you pay for the motherfucking cash."
Mm-hmm.
They gonna tell you to go ahead and do it. Yeah, buy the Malibu, motherfucker. Yeah, get it right. Go Beverly Hills. They don't give a fuck about you, dog.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I'm saying? Your money. That's how you see a lot of these ex-NBA players wind up. Let's just say not broke compared to some of them wind up really broke on the street smoking crack, but most of them even if the CPA steals 50% of the money, they can still figure out even a fucked up NBA player who fucked his career up or fucked his money up. When you're making 25 million, 30, 40, 50 million, let's just say even just that, we ain't even gonna go to the highest player. Let's just say that, okay? It's hard, dog, to spend that kind of money, but it's easy for these younger players because you got yes men around you.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna tell you need to save no money. They trying to get money out of you. They're like, yeah, ball out of control, nigga. Yeah, buy the ballers and buy the mansion. Nigga, when you can just sit there, you go to Malibu and buy you a nice little mansion spread, nigga. Let's just say that bitch, already built out. Let's say they want $10 billion. It's one of Tom Cruise's one of Tom Cruise's old summer houses. They want $10 billion for it. You get the bitch. You could have took that $10 billion, nigga, and bought you a whole shit. You could have bought 10 ranches. Badass ranches, nigga. Put all them hoes together and nigga been and fuck around and, raise, let's just say you want to, you can raise some cattle or something.
Wait. Before you continue, please guys, make sure you like the stream, share the stream, and do whatever, when you get to replay of this. But hold on. Yeah, so make sure you guys share the stream. All right. Yeah, I follow you. Yeah, and let's keep in mind who you have on your circle also is the determining factor what you do with your money. And if you're a young player, which majority are, even with Zion Williams, I'm sorry, you don't got no one that you could trust on what your moves are. Personally, and mind you, majority they're people that they have trust their agents, their personal accountant if they have them. Mostly they have agents. They don't got all that. I know most players don't got all that lined up personally. They're getting milk. They're getting milk.
Yeah, look, you know what a lot of them have? Their mothers. Right? The single mothers, right?
Yeah.
The single mothers, you can count the agent, count the CPA, count his lawyer, we can count that. All the other motherfuckers in the family and bitches and all that shit there. But look, you gotta look at your mother as well, because single mother, right?
Yeah.
She done raised you up, you done beat the odds, you done got that contract that like I know, bro. They gon' be in your pocket like a motherfucker, like for real. What I say is your mother took care of you, ain't nothing wrong with taking care of your mother, but at the end of the day, just like we see that one young brother, I forgot his name, when he decided to, I think Alabama wanted him, and then I think his mother wanted him to go to Tennessee or Georgia or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's sitting up there. He's sitting up there. He like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and when he said he was gonna commit, that nigga mama got up, was so mad at him, dog. I was like, bitch, you ain't played a down of football. You ain't let damn one of these motherfuckers rushing you, sack you. Son, man, you know what I'm saying? Whatever choose that he want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Bitch, you didn't go to Tennessee. You didn't go to Alabama, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you worried about it. You ain't no alumni. You just stay in that state. You just want him to go there because the folks that promised you some money if you bring your son to us.
Yeah.
Once again, about slavery. Now, you said that earlier, right?
Yeah.
See, you put you on that plantation. And that's how they roll you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them come up out of there before they get that 4 years of college. So if you did want to go out there and do anything else, let's say the man busts his ACL and he ain't never the same no more. Or he busts his ACL the first year and they never do really just fuck with him. He put him on IR and they send him down to D-League.
Okay.
Man, you know, that your career could be over in an instant, dog.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, hell, you're going to get picked up. Where you going to go? You might get back to D-League if after that, and then the rest of it going to be, like you say, you're going to be overseas trying to get some chump change over there in the Spanish League or the European League or the China League or something.
Mm-hmm.
Happen every day, man, with good players, man. I mean, great players. Mm-hmm. You know, it's politics in that shit, man. You know, they pick the right ones. They pick the right one. You know, you got money on you, man. You know what I'm saying? You see a couple basketball players who have been through that are speaking out on it now. But there's always a gatekeeper, bro, in any type of shit where you paying bid $300 million and $50 million and $100 million contract. Bro. There's some gatekeeping involved in that, man. And you gotta either hold the line, toe the line of what they telling you, and don't fuck up, or you gotta be like, better be like Jordan if you ain't.
Mm-hmm.
Because shit, nigga, they'll trade your ass away, they'll fire you, or they'll make your life a living hell at practice until you leave.
You're right. You're right.
I'm telling you that right now, man, you know, but like for the average American person, that's why they put us, that's why our kids be so worried about being rappers and, you know, ball players because they put those people in. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Who was your like when you was coming up, man? You know, like when you was young, who was like somebody that you wanted to bother? I ain't gonna say idol because we don't worship idols. But I would say like who was like a positive role model that you want to pattern yourself after? Was it a ball player? Was it let's just say a rapper, or was it a engineer, or like what for you? What would you say?
If I could really give you an answer, kind of put some thought into it. Can you run the question one more time for me, bro? Zero.
Who was a person that you looked up to? And what was that? You know, what were they? Were they a ball player? Or
I understand the nature of the question. That's a very cool question. To be honest with you, I never really look up to much people. To be fair, honest, because during my little high school skit of playing athletics, I messed around with football, but I did not go through with it because I had like a injury tolerance. You know, I think
like besides the sports, like
okay,
you know, besides sports, like anybody that you was like, you know what, that's a positive brother, or like, hey man, I like what that cat's doing. You know what I'm saying, man? You know, that was positive. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'd like to do that one day or something like that. You know, like that.
Damn, shit. Never put some thought to it. I would say no one really. Personally, be honest, because you know one thing I would say that everybody liked was like Michael Jordan, but
everybody loved Jordan, that's for sure. I mean,
yeah,
I'll tell you straight up. You know, I grew up in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jordan, man. I love the people. I love the whole team. I wasn't just Jordan, the phenom, but I would also say that Pippen. You know, I hate how he turned out. I really hate how he. You know, I hate how he turned out at the end, but
he turned to an asshole, huh?
I mean, you know, here it is, bro.
Yeah.
Like me and you, we on the team right now, man. We both we did championships, man. You know, everybody look at us, man. You know, without Jordan, you can't say Jordan without Pippen, man. You know, 23 and 33, dog. I mean, come on, you can't say it without him.
Yeah.
So, years pass by, man. Shit transpire. You know, movies is made, documentaries is made, words is spoken. You know, people on Facebook, Instagram, and shit talking shit. Okay. At the end of the day, bro, just the fact that we was cool at one point in time and we accomplished a lot. People look up to us. They might not know our personal beefs. It's not their business.
Yeah, it's not a business. Yeah.
You know, Jordan ain't no perfect person.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, you know, without Jordan, there could be no Pippen. Without, Pippen could be no Jordan. I would say at the time that it was going on, Pippen was his nigga, man. I'm talking about, man, Pippen, man, shit, he was right there with him. So I could never, years later, come out in a documentary on the internet, on the Instagram Live, or whatever, and say, hey, man, you know, Jordan's a whole ass nigga, such and such and such. You know, I could never do that. Even if I felt that way, and, you know, I would never go there. I would go and talk to my bro first. I'd be like, you know, I would try to eliminate that spirit in me because I feel like I would be doing myself a disjustice to speak on my brother in that way, even if we ain't agreed no more. Never put it in the public. I would never do it. So, like I say, people I used to look up to, football related. I love Doug Williams. You know what I'm saying? Steve McNair. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Warren Sapp. You know what I'm saying? Simeon Rice. You know what I'm saying? Man, it's countless others in the football game. But like, as far as just like I said, it ain't gotta be sports. Like as far as just like straight up, just straight up anywhere. Like, you know, straight up like it could be like engineering. It could be, you know, acting. You know, anybody. You know, I like Michael Dorn, man. I don't know if you know Michael Dorn.
No, I don't know who Michael Dorn is. Person.
Michael Dorn is Worf in Star Trek.
Oh, that's what's up.
You remember Worf?
I think I remember Worf. Wait. Is it Worf the alien looker or this guy with the visors?
Worf was the Klingon. You talking about LeVar Burton? LeVar Burton was the one with the visor.
Okay, Robert. Okay,
that's the one that Reed Rainbow. That's Reed Rainbow.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
Okay, so
I know how he got the role to play that TV series. Him, LeVar Burton. I was surprised how he got that role.
Well, see, LeVar was heavy with PBS at the time. LeVar was at that time back in the early 80s and late 80s and early 90s. LeVar Burton was on the same channel that Mr. Rogers was on. You know, Mr. Rogers was the shit back in the day, right?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You know, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, man. I fuck with Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers really that nigga, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be sleeping on Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, if you go and listen to what that man say, even now, that motherfucker got some real shit he got to speak on, man. Mr. Rogers always been down to get down, man, for years. And Michael Dorn, though, reason I respect Dorn because Dorn played a character that was the over stereotypical. If you look at Klingons as a race, you could easily say that's a racist take on black people. Because remember, before they made the new Enterprise, all Klingons was black.
Oh.
Only until they made the movies did they make some light-skinned Klingons.
That's weird.
Was black. Everybody was black. Now, the original Star Trek, they had white folks playing black people. They was doing blackface and shit like that. That was with Captain Kirk and shit. That's where Eartha Kitt was the only motherfucker on there. Black and shit, whatever. But, like, when the big came in, right? You know, when you had a strong black lead, and then I do like the fact that they took Dorn over to Deep Space Nine with Captain Cisco.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cisco was the black captain of Deep Space Nine, and then Michael Dorn was the head of security and intelligence over there. So it was two black leads, strong leads. These niggas was not wearing no tight ass pants. These niggas was not with no LGBTQ.
Mm-hmm.
They was not wearing no pink shirts. They was not kissing no man on the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
These was real niggas, man. They was hard-nosed niggas, man. Every time they go on a away mission, that nigga Worf coming back. Everybody else might die.
Mm-hmm.
But Worf coming back. And who they gonna send? If they need motherfucker to survive, they gonna send Worf. Because it was a strong black lead. And that, to me, inspired me to say, hey, you know what? That character right there is a strong black lead. Strong black leads can lead the show. They can.
Okay.
Right alongside with the Captain Kirks and the Captain Picards and the rest of the motherfucker, Captain Cisco, which he was black too, but you know, the strong black lead was a thing. Now you see the strong black lead they want to put up in a dress.
Yeah. But before we continue this conversation, because I'm not gonna hold long. This is good. This is good. We'll have to probably continue that another time. All right. But I'll hit you up a little bit. All right. Cool.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Anytime, brother. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to derail your conversation.
No. It's not derailing. It's not derailing because I'm already past the limit. I would contact earlier, but I had to go through this little dissertation to knock out the premise of the stream. But I hit you up. All right.
Got you, bro.
All right. Don't worry. I got you. All right. Cool. All right. Oh, that's pretty much it. Sorry, guys. Looking forward to hear your thoughts on this video. Was I right or wrong? Is this a circus? Is the $300 million slave really the pinnacle of today's reality? And why are people being so much distracted by the latest circus in regards to these high-profile athletes that's put in front of an arena to either swing a bat, throw a ball, or even better yet, slam a basketball? You be the critic and the judge. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care now.